Again, I don't like this either. This kind of, it didn't hold. There was a reaction, but then it just kind of kept on going. This one idea has been invalidated. So when it comes to Elliott waves, this is what I was talking about. I imagine that as a 1. You've clearly had a bullish impulse here. So that could have been your 3. But now that we've come underneath that yellow line, this 1 has been invalidated. This is your 1. This is a nothing. Get rid of it. Pretty much. And so this is actually quite a good token to potentially buy. If we can time it right, because you've had your wave 1 and we're correcting after a wave 1. That was your 1. There hasn't been any other impulse because we've invalidated this idea, because we've come underneath the point that had to hold a support. So this is actually quite interesting now. This actually makes me more interested, surprisingly enough. And people think, oh, this is bearish because we've lost the major area of interest. Yeah, that SR flip, that was really it. But actually, this becomes more interesting because it has really explosive bullish potential, doesn't it? Look how far this expanded from this low to this high. It expanded 400%. And so we're obviously correcting here. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can find an entry. Yeah, we're coming into the golden pocket. We haven't touched it yet. One, two, three, four, five. A, B, C, A. Let me just draw it out first. Yes, okay, it doesn't really matter. Maybe one more ABC. One last ABC. This could correct. This is obviously it's lagging, huh? Because it's still going down. I think we're going down, huh? I think we're going down to fill this gap, personally. That's what I would imagine. Something like that. All the way down to the 786. I think that gap is problematic for the price. You can see that there are all the gaps have been filled. And we have one last big gap in this first wave, potentially. And that would be a good place for the price to find support. 786 here. It won't be, it shouldn't be impulsive. It will just be one kind of last corrective. Maybe to come down here and take the low one more time for an entry. Passed up. You could buy that A, the reaction up to the golden pocket for a quick scalp, potentially. It's a 25% scalp. Sell into that. right back down for a swing failure of the same place for the move to begin. Who knows? It could happen. Huh? What you're looking for is, so you have this kind of steep trend line here. And people are just like really depressed. They're like, the price of their token was at 10 cents and now it's at 3.6. Yeah, and they're like, oh, fuck this shit. You see these selling wicks. Every pump has been sold into, like people are like literally selling. You can tell. Some kind of outer trend line here. It's not very clear. We are coming into the golden pocket, and so while I have this going down, there's no reason to think this couldn't hold. Just you have to be aware of that. Effectively, what you need first to happen is this trend line to break, this kind of weird steep trend line. This gap should fill, but it may not. It's, you know, who knows. So potentially, actually, this is a good place to long with a reaction. But you potentially, you're still expecting another ABC. You could still get this. Who knows? That's what I'm thinking. ABC, ABC, ABC. A really deep. That was a wave one. This is a really deep. So let's time this. Maybe we can time it, huh? It'd be nice if we could time this one, huh, David? Because this will pump. I'm sure of it. th of June, 19th of June. Little break and then still down. Get people really bearish. Fill the gap. 786. Let me try and find some more confidence. If this happens, it'll be an amazing trader. That looks right. Let's oh, I know what I'll do. Do a trend-based fib extension. How do you do it from here to there when it goes down? It doesn't make, I can't do it like that. I've never done that before, but that's your entry here, right at the bottom. Oh shit, what just happened? Why did it move? Wait, I have a better idea actually. Let me do something else. That's your entry, yeah. From there to there to there. Let's get rid of this channel now. I like that actually. Definitely going to get a reaction here. I don't see why we wouldn't get a reaction here. Yeah. And obviously you could also get this inverse head and shoulders just right here. It's something to bear in mind, because you could get a reaction. It depends on how reactive this is. There's something to bear in mind. Very different correction then, because then this would be basically here. Still timed. I think you still want the same timing. It'd be very weird. Who knows? Like, the timing is important, but I don't think so. I think probably as it goes down, people will still want to sell. So yeah, maybe the 618. I don't know, because this trend base is weird. I've done it from the top to the W to the X to the Y. I've never done it downwards like that before. Usually it goes back up, but it shouldn't really matter, should it? Which kind of gives a 618 here, but then you're in the middle of the gap. But it's at this kind of intersection. Let me just have a look at the overall volume profile as well. Ooh, that's interesting. Let me take the volume profile after this funny hack as well. Okay. Look at that high volume node there. See that? You've got the point of control lower down, but overall, probably forget the overall volume. But there is a value area there. You could just bounce there. It depends. You have to see. That trend line would be good actually, just to think about it. Into the value area of the overall profile. Into the golden pocket. That should deserve a reaction here. Somewhere here. If we find resistance on that top value area high, and then the question is this volume node. Do we go down to this volume node? Because that would be your entry. That's like the best entry right now, I think. If it's on time, no volume node. Fake out this trend line into the 618 of this trend-based extension. Into the high volume node, just underneath this trend line. Could be front run on time, which is sometime 19th and 20th of June. Who knows? Who knows? The only issue that I see with this idea is that you're right in the middle, you're buying right in the middle of this gap. And I'd like to think, would the gap fill? But maybe not, because you've got this high volume node and they do react. And so what we haven't had, and this is what I like to see a lot, is I want to see this high volume node back tested, and we haven't had a back test. You see how the price comes up? We never actually got a test on that high volume node as the price went up. So this is the test. We're heading down for a test. If that happens, that you flip that high volume node into the point of control, don't you? So you now move the point of control up. So you're buying the point of control for a reaction here at the end of this correction on time, 19th of June. Got it? That's the plan. Obviously, if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And then You're looking for an impulsive reaction. So he QANX, what did they say? QANX? Did they say? No, it was Voight, wasn't it? Let's have a look at QANX. Any releases? No, they don't really post much on their Twitter. They're a bit shit. That's probably why people are selling, because they're just kind of like, there's no news. They need to kind of get someone to do that stuff. Yeah. All right, that's the trade plan. Can we set that in our diary? I don't know. Never tried that. No. I'm getting a little bit of a bullish reaction today. That's just something to bear in mind. But it'd be hard to buy there. You look for support here. Right. I'll send that to you. So the way I do these trade plans is it has to happen exactly the way I imagine it. Otherwise, you can scrap it. Yeah. If we suddenly now see this, strangely enough, and the reaction here on time, then you have the confidence. Now, this obviously could do something somewhat different, but the point is that you want to see that some kind of a continuation of that idea, which is the continuation of a zigzag, very ugly zigzag, to be honest with you. And you kind of want it to land in your area of interest, which is this high volume node on time. You see, it has to come on time because of the way this correction is playing out. It's quite balanced, and you don't FOMO in if you get a reaction lower down here, because you're expecting that reaction. Yeah. So would you trade the reaction? You know, you could potentially trade the reaction here, but you just got to be mindful that we're probably potentially still correcting, and therefore you will be looking to that's more of a scalp, isn't it? It's more of a kind of, you'd have to take profit there. If you lose that structure bounce, you'd have to take profit there. So I'm contemplating the next move. I'm contemplating the next impulse. I'm not contemplating scalping or day trading. I'm contemplating, let's catch the next wave, huh? And so it's really actually quite good, because we've on this token, I've invalidated this whole wave one that potentially happened here, just because the price has come under my area of interest, which was that SR flip. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. And so therefore this is obviously clearly an impulsive move. And so this is our wave one, and we're in a very deep wave two correction. And yeah, this trend line could be good right here into the point of control on this trend line. If it comes on time, that'll be better. And then we could probably see the next wave. The next wave will be really explosive, I think. It's all low volume, so you see all the volume profile here, it's really low. So the next wave will probably be a really impulsive wave, I think. And let me try and calculate that actually just while I'm here. Trade plan June 1920. All right, let's just imagine that I'm right and that this does come to rest here. You know, trend-based fib from the low to the top, to this high volume node here. Is that the one? Yeah. Got a lot of fibs. Why have I got these other fibs? Let's get rid of that too. One-to-one would be 16 cents. Extended would be 48 cents. That would be in price discovery. So you could see really high prices. I think. I know you have to clear the liquidity here. There's a little bit of trapped liquidity up there, not much. Actually, let me just do this as well. Sometimes these charts are a little bit nuanced, and this hacked data can actually still be relevant. This trade is a little bit of a catching a falling knife potentially. Confirmation will be a swing failure of this low here. So you effectively the idea is this, but also you need to get back up above there. You can't. If you find this struggling, then obviously that's not what you want to see. Just an FYI. Sorry, I just wanted to add that. What did I want to do? I wanted to see if these fibs actually gave us anything, and they do. And I've done. That's your target. Around 90 cents. How much extension would that be? From here. Is it possible to get to 3,000%? Doesn't really matter, because even up to there it would be quite good. It's like 1,500%. It's an extended run. This is a really, if that comes down there, that would be a really good entry. And then the other thing I'm going to do is obviously some kind of bull market volume. Not much volume. It's all the way down here. All right, let's see what happens. It's always good to wait for the reaction. You don't see a reaction, never take a trade. Wait for the reaction. You see a reaction, you have an invalidation, right? So this is QANX. I've been tracking this a while. You might have seen me chart it, and so it's good to have a look at these things again.